energy surrounds us and binds us.
What's up, Star Wars fans, and welcome back to episode 77, is it? Episode 77 of the Carbonite Convos podcast. We are recording this on Wednesday, July 29th. Didn't even have to look at my phone to remember the date, so we're off to a great start.
Good job.
I'm joined today by Alec and his mustache. Alec, are we ready to hop in and review and chat about Obi-Wan Kenobi?
Dude, I'm pumped. We actually really haven't even talked about it that much. I can't believe we've been able to hold off this long because this is such a monumentous thing.
Nicky Boy was on vacation watching the Lightning get their butts pounded by the Avalanche. It was an awesome series, though. So super proud of the boys still. Hopefully we'll be back next year better than ever, because when there's thunder, there is lightning. So I was able to make it to game 3, 4, and 6, but man, an awesome time. But we did have to skip out on our Kenobi review last week. We had the reaction come out. We got some awesome, some awesome feedback on it, and it was an awesome episode. So I think Alec and I have just been super, super pumped to get on here and talk about it. So shoot it. Let's hear what you have.
You know what's crazy?
What's crazy?
From the people that I've talked to in person, I've heard mostly negative things.
Fuck them.
Agreed.
How?
I'm very. Oh, hold on. Oh, okay. Damn it, but
that was his girlfriend. He puts a collar on her and makes her run around on her hands and knees.
Gosh, Jesus Christ. Okay.
Alec's dog is on the rampage right now.
Yeah.
So we were saying all the negative stuff. Like how?
Yeah. And what I find to be interesting about it is the things that they're talking about don't freaking matter. So I was talking to this guy yesterday. Okay. We were at the same place and I noticed he had a Empire tattoo. And I was like, hey bro, I like your tattoo. Super dope. Super dope. I'm assuming you're a big fan. Did you see Kenobi? And he's like, yeah, man, I did. I thought it was really stupid. And I'm like, whoa. Okay. I'm like, what was bad about it? You know what his answer was?
What?
The camera work was really shoddy. It could have been a lot better.
Oh
I was like, that's your concern?
You belong on Rotten Tomatoes.
That is your concern.
Tools.
First off, what cinematography class did you take to know what the hell you're talking about? What degree?
Where were you guys?
Have what input? What skill do you have about how difficult I'm sure that is to pull off? What his biggest complaint? You know what he talked about was the fight with Vader and Reva in episode 5, where he did the turn and stop thing with the Force. He goes, he was like, he just did this and it stopped. I'm like, yes, that's how the Force works. Like,
dead ass, like literally, bro. And oh my god,
just mind blown. I'm like, I was just like, oh, okay, I feel you, bro. I feel you.
At that point, you just got to exit.
I'm like, you're an idiot. I'm sorry, bro. Like this, it's irrelevant. Like
at that point, you just got to exit the conversation because you're clearly working with someone that is looking for a reason to hate. Can't find anything. And dude, was this show perfect? No. But man, it checks off every damn box that I wanted going into it. I just don't get it. I posted on Fandom Facts today. I posted an Easter egg from it because when Leia sees Obi-Wan, one of her last words was, "Will I ever see you again?" So I said, that's the same thing that Anakin said to his mother when he left to join the Jedi Order, and this dude, it was just a simple Easter egg, nothing crazy. Dude comments, he's like, this made it not connect to A New Hope. This retconned the entire original movie. I was like, bro, how? He was like, because Leia wasn't even sad when she was talking to Luke about when Ben Kenobi died. She wasn't even sad. She asked him. I was like, bro, what? He was like, are we not going to point that out? I commented. I said, no, we're not going to point that out because it doesn't matter. And then he's like, but it does matter. They retconned it. I was like, no, they didn't. Like, in the grand scheme of things, and this is something you have to have a conversation with face to face. who are we to decide what kind of emotions somebody is feeling? Just because she didn't seem as sad as she should have, we're supposed to judge that she wasn't sad. And let's not forget, I'm sorry, but in the original movie, she probably wasn't sad. At that time, she didn't really know Kenobi. Okay, so yeah, she really isn't that sad. A lot happened between her and Obi-Wan, to where obviously she would be sad that he died, but that doesn't mean that in that moment she's not sad. In that moment, she's looking out for Luke, because Luke is clearly, he is upset.
Mhm.
She, being the person she is making sure that Luke's all right. She's just comforting Luke. So I'm sitting here thinking, if that is what you are worried about, bro, what?
If there's
confused, what's to worry about?
if there's one thing I've taken away from Star Wars, it is the fact that Leia Organa is a badass. Okay,
Badass
a
biatch.
badass. Okay, I don't think
I freaking
in
love
that
Leia.
situation she would let anyone see that she was upset. Think about all the things we don't even know about in canon,
Bro,
that
she
has gone through. She
Sorry.
lost her entire home
I
planet.
was just gonna say that, bro.
Her entire home planet. And was she upset? Yes. But
She didn't even react.
Like, she's tough as nails, bro.
That ass,
Tough as
man.
nails.
Bro, she literally watches her home planet get blown up. Parents, cousins, friends, everything blown up. Doesn't shed a tear. That doesn't mean she didn't feel anything. And obviously, it's a movie. It's a movie. You know, that her being sad about it isn't part of the plot. That's not part of it. That kind of reminds me, and we still need to do our Family Guy Star Wars rewatches.
Yeah,
because bro, I've been holding off. Like, they've been on TV and I've watched a few minutes and then I've turned them off because I'm like, nah, we're doing it. It reminds me of the scene where Lois is riding her bike on Endor. She's like, it's the speeder bike. I finally think I've gotten over Alderaan exploding. And then it does the flashback and it shows Alderaan exploding in this hurling rock, just hurtling through space on fire, and then it just knocks her off the bike and she just falls flat. I don't know why it reminded me of that, but it did.
No, absolutely, bro. And especially after seeing this series, I really think it shows what Leia is destined to be. And I feel like in the last 10 years or so, like, I feel like the character of Leia has, take that back, in the past few years, I feel like the character of Leia has been expressed as an even more liked character, a more strong, yes, like a more strong and important part of the Force.
I think
especially in the sequel trilogy.
A lot of it stems from George Lucas's original idea that she would be right up there with Luke in terms of using the Force, being a Jedi. So I think when they expanded on that in the sequel trilogy, that kind of backed up the conversation of that strong and empowering, female character in her, because I love Leia. She was arguably one of the original female badasses. And I liked her character a lot. One more thing that I saw, same guy on Instagram commenting this. He said, this was terrible casting for Leia. I'm like, how? I was like, how was this terrible casting?
She's like 11 years old.
She's 10. And he's like, it's because the running scenes weren't believable. And I'm like, you're kidding. And I'm paraphrasing, of course, but I'm sitting there in my mind. I'm like, you're screwing with me. You think it was terrible casting because of the slightly cringy running scenes? Like, you can see on our reactions and our reviews and our podcast episodes that we weren't fans of the running scenes. We thought they were a little ridic. But in spite of that, this actress, I can't remember her name right now, she did a fantastic job. She crushed this role. So to say that they casted her terribly because of the running scenes, bro, you can't even have a legitimate conversation with a person like that, because I don't know which brain cells they're using when they're watching the series.
Or the right one.
Exactly. Are they using their first one or the last one?
Right.
I don't know which one.
There's not a whole lot of them in between. So
No,
I don't
and
know,
it
man.
sucks, because like, man, I love this series, and it's weird because the people that I've spoken to in person all love it. Maybe Pittsburgh just is so much better than Arizona.
I guess
Maybe
so, man. I guess so. You know,
he
another
decides to sweat his testes off day in
so
and day
hot.
out in the 112-degree
It's so
heat
hot.
instead of
Oh my god, it's
being up
ridiculous.
here.
It's like you said, it's ridiculous.
Freedom.
Another thing I've seen people hating on is how quote unquote bad episodes 1, 2, 3, and 4 were. And
Oh
I
my
think the only
gosh.
response to that is how impatient can you freaking be?
Bro, dead ass, man.
I was talking to this
Go ahead.
I was talking to this person about it, and they're like, it's just this was after
It was too slow.
this was after episode 5. And they said it's so slow, there's nothing happening. This is just absolutely terrible. I'm like, episode 5 literally came out yesterday. Have you seen it? No. Well, literally go watch. First off, go watch it before you're talking about it. Second off, if after episodes 5 your hopes weren't incredibly high about what was about to happen to make up for the entire series, I don't understand. If you put these 6 episodes, if you put these 6 episodes into a movie, okay, and expand it out into a movie, it's exactly how any other movie would be. Build up, climax, ending. That's how movies work. And all it is spread out over 6 episodes. It's the only difference. People are impatient and they just can't deal with the fact that this was literally saving the very best for last.
Couple things. 100%. It's the instant gratification that people need, and it's why it's standing in the way from them enjoying the whole series through it, like in and out, from start to finish. That's what's standing in the way, is this lack of instant gratification. And I lost where I was going with that, because there was a second point.
I shot a fireball.
Dead ass. And the half a bottle of wine. It was the alcohol. But no, it's people being impatient, and I don't know what their expectations could have been, but it delivered.
It did.
And you can't go balls to the wall from scene 1 to scene end. You can't do that. That's not how it works. It's like you said, it's not how it works in movies. That's not how it works in TV shows. I mean, I can't tell you how many, because I have a lot of friends. I need to expand my palette when it comes to television and movies. But I have so many friends that tell me about all these shows. Like, and these are just examples of the shows that I've heard. Not that they all start slow, just that these are the examples of the shows that I've heard. And a good few of them, they say you got to get through season X and then it gets good. So it's like Peaky Blinders, Ozark, Game of Thrones, all this stuff that I need to watch. A lot more. The Boys, Umbrella Academy, which, by the way, I want to watch all. I haven't seen any of them, so I need to watch all those. Fantastic. But regardless, for a good few of those, they say you need to make it through season X. Once you get through that, it's incredible. And it kind of makes me compare it to Kenobi, where, dude, it's just one season. The ending of season 1 was incredible. So we're not asking people to get through 2 seasons of Kenobi and then it'll get good. We're not asking you to get through 12 episodes. It's literally get through the first 2 where it's a little buildup. It's not uninteresting. It's fucking Obi-Wan Kenobi. We haven't seen him since 2005. Like, calm yourself. Like, you literally had to get through less than an hour and a half of buildup until you got him versus MF Vader. It's like, take a step back and just enjoy it. Be patient. Have the hope that it is culminating to something,
Obi-Wan Kenobi, you're my only hope.
He's our only hope, brother.
You make a great point, and I'm gonna top you on points here. You talked about all these shows you have to get through season X, yada yada. Let's look inside the same fandom. Clone Wars, bro.
Oh, exactly.
Season 7 is top tier entertainment. And do you have to get through a couple seasons of that to really enjoy it? Absolutely.
And even throughout, there are a few arcs. There's like a good 5-6 episode arcs where I sit and I sit there. I'm like, all right, you got to power through.
Yeah.
It's okay. And dude, it's a beloved show, you know?
It's great.
Let's leave this conversation to the side. How about some of the things we absolutely loved?
Okay. Did we get to talk about the Reva? Yeah, we talked about the Reva scene with Dinks 2 weeks ago, which was sick.
Which Reva scene?
The Vader and Reva scene.
Oh, it was dope.
But that was episode 5.
Yeah, let's focus on the finale.
So I want to know what it must have been like in Vader's perspective, seeing Obi-Wan's strength back, because he even makes a point to say it in their big final battle.
Your strength is back, but your weakness hasn't left. Paraphrase, but I'm like, bro, that's tough.
First off, can we talk about that Darth Vader might have some of the most
epic one-liners,
epic dialogue, and like you said, one-liners out there, bro. That's insane.
100.
That's psychological,
bro. I am what you made me.
Okay.
All this stuff, man. Bro, Vader's freaking nuts.
Okay, we'll get back into the end scene. Let's start at the beginning of the episode. Okay.
Dude, I forget the beginning of the episode because it's so. See, what's hard about the beginning of the episode is, what was Ice Cube's son's character's name again?
Was it How was it Tawin? How do you say it?
Roken.
Yes,
Roken. So Roken says he's gonna, and this is my only complaint, and we said it in like we said it in our reaction. He says, "Yeah, I'm gonna need a few hours," and like 1 minute later, Obi-Wan says, hey man, I'm gonna go sacrifice myself. I'm gonna go. I assume Alec just found something on disc trackers.
I did.
What is it? The boba scene?
Half off.
$15. Screw me, because I bought it for 25.
I'm gonna snag that after we're done with this.
Bro, you should. That's a hell of a deal.
That's a deal. My girlfriend and I were just talking about it. Like, I want it. I just didn't want to pay for it. Need it. Anyways.
So Roken says I can have the ship fixed in like 3 hours. I was like,
yeah.
Damn. I was like, that sucks. Obi-Wan volunteers. All right, I'm gonna go to the ship. I'm gonna buy you time. It doesn't matter if I live. It matters if all of you live. Vader wants me. That's what he wants. If he has me, he's distracted. You guys can get away. And all of a sudden, Rogen's like, no, we can do this together. It's like, no, you can't. They're about to blow you up. You said you needed 3 hours. You don't have 3 hours.
Yeah, like
so exactly. I think he said it. Like, I need to get this. This thing is gonna get. I need 3 hours to fix it, but they're gonna blow us up in 10 minutes. Like something.
Yeah,
something
he literally
like that.
He did say it. That's hilarious.
And then something stupid like, no, we do this together. It's like, what are you talking about? Like, if they blow all of you up, Obi-Wan's gonna die anyways. So you might as well have him go sacrifice himself. And he survives anyways. Roken doesn't know that, but it's like I didn't understand the logic. And I remember watching it 3:30 in the morning. I look 4 inches to my left on my screen at you. I'm like, bro, didn't he just say that they couldn't do anything for like several hours? How is it? How are they all like, yo, let's do this?
Oh, that's so funny.
How did it get? I just don't understand the logic.
The logic of
yes.
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 All right, we need 3 hours. Well, we're gonna die. So,
we don't have 3 hours. Here's the plan. No, we do this together. Well,
okay. That's fantastic. Oh my god, that made my day.
I didn't get it. That was my only complaint because that was a little bit of like cliche TV. That's what I saw, but it was that was like my only thing about the finale.
Yeah. One thing I liked about it is we're just gonna get into this fight scene.
Yeah, there's nothing else to talk about. There's nothing else.
The majority of it was long.
It was long as hell.
It was awesome, bro. And what I found to be really interesting about it is, one, how Vader did not make sure that Kenobi was dead.
Idiot.
I can't believe that. And I think that is potentially the main reason why he considers himself to still be the learner. Obviously, his infamous line to Kenobi in episode 4.
I think a key part of that is all right, there's a couple things, because one, he has a bunch of rocks on him, and I assume that he didn't know that Obi-Wan was holding them up. So I'm sorry, but if I have literally tons, like poundage, tons on you of rock, I would assume that you're dead. I think that's pretty safe to assume. But if you look kind of beyond that simple fact, I think looking at Anakin's character, his biggest downfall was his arrogance. That's why he got his remaining 3 limbs hacked off in Revenge of the Sith, because he was arrogant enough to think that he could get over Obi-Wan, even though Obi-Wan had the high ground. So, I think it just bubbles down to his arrogance, and that's just who he is.
That's interesting, bro. That's a nice take. I didn't think about that.
Thanks.
You're welcome. You're very welcome.
I liked his flashbacks in that scene. Like, man, Leia really stuck with him to where he didn't care if he died. He knew he had to do it for them, for just even though the rebellion wasn't really a thing yet, he had to do it for this idea of hope. Because if Obi-Wan dies right there, what happens? And it's kind of like this overarching theme in Star Wars. If the Empire was 30 seconds quicker, they win. But my ring light just went out. Screw me.
No.
If the Empire is 30 seconds quicker, whoa, I kind of look like the dark side right now.
Something dark side.
Dark side. For the third time, if the Empire is 30 seconds quicker in several occasions, they win. They blow up the ships. They save the day. They don't die. They're fine. And I think that rang true once again. And I'm going to have you playing in my earphones. So I'm going to try to get this fixed really quick, but I have a feeling that this might be the end.
Jeez, man, you're killing me. So I actually have a question for you as soon as you get up from,
once again, I'm listening,
doing your business. The where would you rank, and we'll get into this here in a second, where would you rank this?
I'm kidding.
Where would you rank this lightsaber duel amongst the ones we've seen so far?
Ooh.
Not the whole aspect, not the scene, not the rocks and stuff, the lightsaber fight.
Hold up. Can you pause it really quick? You don't even have to edit this out. And we back. All right, so my favorite, where does this rank in lightsaber fights?
Not all the aspects, the fighting itself.
See, it's like, do you keep the emotional aspect in? Do you keep all that stuff in? Like overall, I think this is one of the dopest things I've seen in a decade, because like lightsaber on lightsaber, I'm trying to think. We haven't seen it we saw a few in the sequel trilogy, which they were cool. I think the sequel trilogy duels, they get crapped on a lot. Which, are they the same as the prequels? No. If you look at the prequel trilogy fights, the original trilogy fights, and the sequel trilogy fights, they all are much, much different. The prequels are super, super fast, very powerful. The original trilogy ones, I think, are a lot more elegant. They're a lot slower, a lot more elegant. And although I'm kind of finding a way to distinguish the sequel trilogy from the original trilogy, because I think the sequels and the originals, because the sequels were also much slower. But I don't know. I don't think they were it's hard. Like, they were slower in a different aspect. I don't know how to describe it. But do I think the Vader fight, do I think this fight was better than all the sequel trilogy duels? Absolutely. Absolutely 100%. The scene where where Rey gets the lightsaber using the Force in The Force Awakens. That's one of my favorite scenes in Star Wars. But, the saber fights, although they were very visually pleasing, they lacked in a lot of flair, when it comes to dueling. Having said that, I think the emotions of this fight took over for me 100% because it was they marketed this as the epic rematch of the century, the fucking century, bro. Like, so when I went into this,
what tops that?
Nothing. When I went into this fight, and that's why after episode 3, I saw so many theories that was the rematch. And I was like, man, I am not one to complain. I am not. And I enjoyed that scene a lot.
I think it's
in episode 3.
If that would have been it
but
would have set up the original trilogy very well.
It would have, but it's not the epic rematch.
Correct.
It's not. So I was like, okay, I like that fight. There has to be something else to happen, but I was just hoping for more. And a lot of people said that would be it. And I was like, there's no way. There is no way. Disney and Lucasfilm has made some mistakes, but there's no way that they would market this as the epic rematch of the century and then give us that. Although that was setting us up for now, the epic rematch of the century. Up until we saw episode 6, we didn't know if that was it or not. So this rematch, just the emotions tied to it, stemming from my childhood trilogy, that is what makes it top almost anything we've seen so far.
Like you said earlier,
chef's kiss. I can look at a lot of the fights in the original trilogy and love them. I'd say I would have to say my number one fight, Revenge of the Sith, Anakin, Obi-Wan. Going off of that, I would have to say this, because of what happened with Vader's mask, with Anakin, this arguably number 2.
Yeah.
Number 2 for sure.
Well, if it makes you feel any better, same, number 2.
What's your number 1?
My favorite actually does not come
guess?
from live action.
Oh, it's the Ahsoka Vader.
100%.
I wasn't thinking of those, really. I wasn't thinking of Rebel. I should have been, but I wasn't. I should have, because that is top tier.
It really is, bro. Think
of it.
What I liked about this
reasons,
is
though.
it's very similar, even in word choice.
Yeah, but it's George Lucas said it so much, and I see so many comments across social media. It's poetry. It rhymes, which it does. It does. But man, if there's an overused tweet and Instagram comment, it's that.
Yeah.
It's like poetry.
Absolutely.
It rhymes.
Did you happen to see this? I saw this thing. It was talking about the apprentice took off the left side of the mask. The master took off the right, and the son took off the entire thing.
I have no clue what you're talking about. I'm sorry.
So in the Ahsoka Vader fight, she was able to damage the right side of his face.
Oh, okay.
Kenobi
I was
able to damage the left side, and obviously Luke was able to bring him back to the light and remove it. And in each of those moments, we saw just a split second of him in the light and then briefly taken back over by the menacing eyes.
Yeah,
I think it's supposed to be like that,
bro. Like, I need to make a TikTok of that. I need to make one of that.
You're welcome.
That's really cool. Bro, just the whole mask in general coming off is insane. And we will this whole episode is going to be about pretty much this 10 minutes of action we get.
Mm-hmm.
But let's think. All right. So I saw our buddy Fred tweet that there's no disrespect to Sebastian Shaw, but he would like to see Hayden Christensen somehow digitally remastered into Return of the Jedi when Luke takes off his mask. Would you like to see that?
No, and here's why. In that moment where Kenobi takes the chunk out of his mask and he looks up to him and he goes, "I was not your failure, Obi-Wan." in those couple sentences, we obviously went back and forth between Anakin and Vader's voice, but
Yeah.
I swear to God, there was a third
Ooh.
voice in there. Now, it wasn't perfect by any means. I don't know if this was intentional or not, but I swear on my life, it sounds exactly like when Luke takes off his mask. Like it's the exact same tone. It's not
Interesting.
Hayden Christensen talking, or maybe it's somehow altered, or it's somewhere in the middle. I don't know, but I swear it sounds just like him.
Like Sebastian Shaw?
Yeah. Yes.
Really?
Yes.
I'll have to go back and check that out. That'd be really cool. But regardless, like even with that, you wouldn't want to see like Hayden Christensen's likeness. And it's not like they're just going to plaster his face on Vader. But I think with this technology, would you like to see his face altered a little bit to where you can see Anakin in it, but where you can see Hayden in it?
Maybe. I think it depends on what well, for me personally, I like the fact that it's Hayden Christensen as the Force Ghost.
Anakin. Yeah.
In Return of the Jedi. I guess it does make sense that if it's gonna be that in the remastered version, for it to be him when he's still alive. What I'd like to see happen, and I don't know if I'd actually like to see this happen, but here's a thought: what if instead of doing that, they changed Alec Guinness to Ewan McGregor?
I couldn't.
Really? That's interesting.
No, couldn't.
Why do you think that is? I've heard one of the reasons why people do like it is and I agree with this, is that they choose to believe that Anakin is representing himself as like him in his purest moment.
Yeah.
And maybe that makes sense for Alec Guinness because Kenobi is truly enlightened at that point.
This is so Sebastian Shaw, like no disrespect or discredit to him, because that was the first time we ever see Anakin Skywalker. So you got to give that to him. You can't take it away from him. And, when I asked you the question, would you like to see Hayden Christensen? I didn't answer either. I would like to see it, but maybe not officially changed. I think it would be cool to see it. But man, like that's his role. Arguably, that's David Prowse's role. And I know how big of an issue that was for David Prowse when he wasn't the big face reveal came and that wasn't him. But I don't think changing Sebastian Shaw to Hayden Christensen is even in the same ballpark as changing Alec Guinness to Hayden Christensen, because Sebastian Shaw was on the screen minute and a half most. Alec Guinness was the first Jedi Knight we ever saw. The first time that we see, well, no, not the first time we see a saber ignite. That's Luke. But like this first Jedi, what is a Jedi? It's Ben / Obi-Wan Kenobi, but it was Alec Guinness. He's a freaking Sir. He's Sir Alec Guinness. He is part of why Star Wars is what it is. And he just had such a more pivotal role in Star Wars than Sebastian Shaw did. So I feel like if they did that, it would be super disrespectful. Having said that, I would like to see
it. I think Ewan really
McGregor's
cool.
likeness used a little bit. So I think it would be super cool to somehow see a mix of the two.
I would love if they were able to release something on Disney Plus for exactly that purpose. Shorts.
Yeah.
A 5-minute clip of that scene with those changes. I feel like it'd be good. I feel like it'd be a good test run to see if people liked it. And if people hate it, they just take it off. Like they didn't change anything. They tested it, dabbled their toes in the water, and it's too hot. Get it out. Or it was just right.
Yeah. No, I get it. I think it's a fair question.
Just a thought.
I think it's fair. I think it's cool how they have that one figure of Obi-Wan where you can tell it's both Ewan and Alec Guinness, because it looks like both of them. Definitely looks like both of them. So getting back to the fight, were you upset that Obi-Wan was just OP?
Not at all.
Not at all.
And
I've seen a
in
lot of
what
that.
way
Like,
would he not be OP?
well, because he goes from barely being able to hold Leia up to just flinging rocks
The thing
like
is,
it's nothing.
bro, that's Obi-Wan Kenobi. Have you seen that little?
That's fucking Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Yeah, it's him. Okay.
Yeah.
At one point, he was, I'd say, probably top 3 Jedi.
Yeah, he's
Strength wise, he's up
he's a
there.
G.
He's up there. He was a seasoned war general, just a hero to the galaxy. He purposely shut him off. He purposely shut himself off from the Force for years,
a
and
decade.
in a decade, and literally in a couple days, turned it back on and was like, and just held his own kind of. Now, this is some time later. He was able to have time to meditate, to reconnect into the Force. I feel like the Force isn't something that like necessarily even like weekends. Like if you shut yourself off completely, if you're able to tap back into it, the Force itself,
It's like riding a bike, I would assume.
kind of like the Force itself would be bestowed back into you to where you were. You know what I mean?
It's kind of like, bro, in The Last Jedi. However you feel about it, to each their own, 100%. But Luke shut himself off to the Force and then was able to project himself across the entire galaxy. That takes a lot more force power than throwing a few rocks.
Yeah, really.
He was able to do it.
Make a great
I know.
point. It
I
killed
loved
him, but
yeah, I mean, true. No, I mean, yeah, good point. But it's much different. Like
it is.
it's much different. No, I had no complaints about him being OP. I think one part I look back to, and I haven't rewatched it, but one part I remember recording in our reaction was the scene with the scene where Vader and Obi-Wan were fighting. Remember? You remember that scene?
In Kenobi?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember it.
All right. It was like later in the fight when Obi-Wan's kind of taken over and he like slices a little through his chest plate. You and me were like, whoa, no way, no way.
He like crushed it with the bottom of it
And
of his saber. Yeah.
Yeah. And then, bro, when
And he started suffocating.
yes, his regulators started making the same noise that it did in Return of the Jedi when he was sitting there not able to breathe. Bro, I was flipping.
In that moment, like let's just say we have no idea what happened in the original trilogy. Like it's a new movie, like this Kenobi is a new character.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me. In that moment, if we didn't know what's going to happen, in that moment, I knew he was going to win. Like in that moment where he destroyed the respirator, like that's what turned the tide. And I love that because in that moment, Vader got so much weaker, which shows like how heavy he truly has to rely on this armor.
Yeah.
This suit. He's more cyborg than man, as Kenobi says.
Machine than man now.
Yeah.
Twisted
cyborg. A machine. You're right. Man.
That's tough. And I think one thing everybody who watched Rebels, knowing that Hayden Christensen was coming back, one thing we were expecting was in this episode during the fight, the rematch of the century, we were expecting the mask to crack off. And I remember that moment where Vader claps his face and we're looking at the top of Vader's helmet. I'm like, bro, this is it. And he looks up and we see a freaking third of Anakin's face. And I lost it. I lost it, man.
Can we talk about the blankness of his stare when he said, I did.
Okay. Before we get into dialogue, just that as a whole, Vader, a lot of sirens going on. Vader is arguably the most iconic villain of all time.
It's not a question. He is.
And, in the Star Wars universe, he's this terrifying being. But, us as the fans, you know, when I look at Vader, I don't get scared. It's Darth
Right.
Vader. He's just a badass. And when this episode, when we were watching it, I wasn't scared. But man, when I am looking at Vader like that and Anakin, looking at his eye, the expression on his face, the effects the like prosthetics they used on his face, I was genuinely a little like I don't know the word. Like
He looked possessed.
yes, like I was a little taken back. I was like, holy shit, like he looks creepy as hell right now. And he's never, I've never really thought that, you know, but you're right. The look in his eye and just being able to look freaking a centimeter to the left and see Darth Vader. It finally was able, kind of the way you said after like episode 3 and 4, how you were finally able to connect Anakin with Vader more. I didn't feel it still up to that point. It was still kind of like, I know Anakin's Darth Vader, but it doesn't seem like it. That was that scene for me, seeing that and then being able to see the rest of his mask just perfectly intact as the infamous Darth Vader, and then just be completely just skeeved out by the left side. It hit me, man, in a good way. I was like, holy crap, Anakin, man, come back. Come back.
The dialogue itself, insane.
French kiss. Wait. It's the expression is not French kiss.
Yeah, chef's kiss.
Chef's kiss. We said
French
it right
kiss.
earlier.
French kiss is something else.
I know. I was like French kiss as I moved my fingers away from my mouth, and I was like, wait,
That's
that
not
is
it.
not
That's
right.
not it.
That is not right.
When
It's the wine talking.
When Kenobi
Chupapi.
apologized to him for everything and the pure emotion on Ewan's face. First off, crushed. Second off, that got me.
Deadass,
And
bro.
the response, I thought the timing of the vocal change was perfect. I am not your failure, Obi-Wan.
It's almost like, it's like, bro, who do you think you are? Like, Obi-Wan, you didn't do this. It's like that was Vader saying, like, bro, you did not, don't take credit for this, MF. I did this. I killed Anakin Skywalker, not you. Not you.
Crazy.
I did this. Yes.
Crazy.
Like when you say like, oh, bro, that's crazy. Literally crazy. Like,
that's top tier dialogue, bro.
And you can, as it's being said, you can almost guess what's about to be said next, because when he said, you didn't kill Anakin Skywalker, I think everybody and their mother knew that he was about to say, I did, because that's just how cinema works.
But it still surprised me.
But I was sitting there like, holy crap, Darth, like Darth, man. It was
hello, Darth.
Not even on top of the dialogue, the light going from blue to red to blue to red on his face was so powerful.
Yep. I really feel like this wrapped things up with a bow. Obviously, like there's still things that could be created from this.
Yeah.
But if we didn't get anything again,
I'm fine.
I
would say if there's a season 2, no Vader, no Anakin. I don't want it.
Agreed.
I would love to see, and I would love to see Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon going to work. What would happen there? You know, and that's happened in the comics and the book. So they would have to work around that because all that stuff is canon. Mm-hmm. But I would love to see them expand upon that.
You know where I could see that potentially going?
Where?
A Luke show. If they went season 2 of Kenobi, I feel like the majority of it would be him trying to learn this power from Qui-Gon and him continuing to watch over Luke from a safe distance and be that hermit that Luke was talking about.
Yes, he would have to stay very, very distant because you can't have Obi-Wan getting to know Luke in any sense.
Absolutely not.
You can't.
But I feel like if they were just to continue it and set up Luke's story through season 2, maybe another 4 years go by.
Yeah.
And he's a little bit older and he's starting to like,
show
stuff.
That's what Owen says. You don't care how he's doing. You're just wondering if he's showing.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe he is starting to show.
And then that could start going into Luke's story and then maybe filling in the gaps of what happens after the original trilogy. Like, I feel like that'd be a really cool situation.
Yeah. And you wonder, you get to a point where they can start, if it's late enough, you can start kind of tying that in with Rebels. If it's deep in the show enough.
If the things work out, we could get Ahsoka in it, and bro,
everybody talks about Anakin and Ahsoka reuniting and Luke and Ahsoka meeting. Think about Obi-Wan meeting with Ahsoka again as well, man. That's just as well, not just as powerful as Anakin, but
that's it.
And like
Kinda.
there's a relationship between Obi-Wan and Ahsoka as well.
100%. I'm sure she respected him just as much. She learned just as much, if not way more, from Obi-Wan than Anakin. It depends on how you're looking. I feel like the righteousness comes from
a certain point of view. Yeah. I just farted and it smells like ass.
Well, it's gross.
Yeah.
It's gross.
Yep.
You should if you don't want it to smell, you should just not do that.
I think one thing that I look forward to is it's pretty, I think, solidified that we're going to see Hayden Christensen again in Ahsoka. So just seeing what that plays out to, I'm super excited for that.
Absolutely.
Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
No, you go ahead, please.
I'm curious to know, I think we all are, in what light would that be? Would you want more Vader? Or would you want it to be more flashback?
Well, all right, let's think of this. Like, because she's looking for it
can't be Vader.
Yeah, it can't be by the time of Mando, if this is following the same thing, Vader's dead.
Right.
So it would have to be flashbacks.
Or Veil of the Force things.
Or just Force Ghost.
Yeah. I don't think that's out of the question. We just got Qui-Gon. We got a Master Return.
Yeah.
I think it's pretty safe to say we might get another one.
Yeah.
And we've talked about this in the Ahsoka show. We feel like the Veil of the Force is going to be a very big topic in it.
Well, yeah, it's in the logo. So it's super interesting.
Yeah. So who knows? That has limitless options.
Yeah. Where I was going to go before that is I was like, before we get into other shows, like, I think there's still stuff to talk about from the finale. And I think as a whole for this series, the one thing, because, there's the little crap like Rogan saying, oh, yeah, 3 hours, 10 minutes, blah, blah. Yeah. The one thing that I did feel let down about was the music. That was the only thing, because, and I know I said it a little bit on the reaction, like where I started to break down, like, did I get emotional during the fight? Absolutely. But where I actually started to like shed a few tears was when he was saying goodbye to Leia. Obviously, partly because what was happening in the scene, but when you add the iconic Star Wars music, which spans from generation to generation, that is where it takes it to the next level. And I was just sad that we didn't get more of the traditional Star Wars scores.
I can't believe we didn't get Binary Sunset.
Well, we did a little bit.
No.
We got Leia's theme.
But with how much time was spent on Tatooine?
Well, we didn't really spend a lot of time there, to be honest.
Kinda, though.
A little bit, but like,
as he was walking away talking to Qui-Gon, I feel like that would have been a perfect situation.
Thing about it, though, with the Binary Sunset, that's like Luke's. It's not, Luke doesn't have a theme, but that is kind of, I would say that represents Luke looking off, like, And if not, all right, because I think
Also
of the two,
Ray.
yes, but think of it, it was kind of in the same, it was in the same sense, because like the 3 times that I hear it, that you hear it very significantly, obviously you hear the music a lot. You hear it in A New Hope when Luke is looking off into the binary sunset. You hear it when Owen and Beru take Luke from Obi-Wan in Revenge of the Sith, and it wraps up the entire trilogy when they're looking on the sunset. And then you see Rey standing there as well, just having, considered herself a Skywalker, following that lineage from Luke Skywalker, looking off into the sunset. So I feel like those kind of played together. And I love the binary, bro. It gets me emotional even when I'm not watching the movie. But I wouldn't feel like Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon walking it off into the distance would be the right time for it, because I don't know if that's the place.
I like
It's the
that
same
take.
planet. But just overall, I feel like there could have been more just hints at it. Just hints at the Star Wars music,
Like how in the trailer.
Yes, bro. In the trailer, they played a mix of Battle of the Heroes and Duel of the Fates. 2 songs that when you stick your headphones in, your ears burn like hell afterwards because they are that lit.
That's
Dude,
good.
I remember watching that trailer and just sitting there like, holy shit, we are not ready for what we're about to see. We're not ready. And bro, we didn't hear either of those throughout this series.
I'm surprised.
How did we not hear Battle of the Heroes during their fight? How? And again, I wrap it up. If that was the one thing I was disappointed about, and it's kind of the big one, it's the music, man, because Star Wars is there are so many themes and characters, storylines, all this stuff in Star Wars, but equally important, and what might have captivated the audience and solidified Star Wars as a whole is the music, because that music will live forever. And I feel like they let me down when it comes to that aspect.
I mean, that's fair. I don't think personally myself, I'm as attached to the music aspect. I know that's really important to you.
I think that's like, and you've said it, you started watching Star Wars a lot later than I did. So I think when I think of the music, it really puts me back when I was 8, yay big, so I don't know if that really has anything to do with it, but
no,
yeah,
it definitely does.
I'm a music guy.
Nostalgia is emotional.
It is. And I think it's more, dude, I music in general, like really, really pulls at my heartstrings personally.
Watch my dog absolutely chow down on a big old bowl right now. For you, buddy.
Is he high?
No, he should be though. Maybe he'll chill out.
That ass.
But yeah, man, I really liked that Leia scene. That was good. I got him. I was feeling it during that too. I like you said, a big part was the music, but I really liked just the dialogue and the connection between these two. I'm still so genuinely surprised that Leia was such an important aspect.
I don't think anybody could have guessed.
No. Insane.
I don't think. But the thing about it is, when you look back, when I put myself a month and a half ago before this series came out, I knew it would be about Obi-Wan and Anakin and all this, but in the end, you don't really know what to expect.
Right.
It's like, how do they cross paths? What is driving this? Obviously, these Inquisitors are looking for him, but what else is there? And the fact that it was about Leia, man, that it took some balls. It took some balls by Disney and Lucasfilm to go that direction, because and obviously there are some things, like all these people are complaining about, like, she didn't get sad, blah, blah. She says, you helped my father in the Clone Wars. There were so many lines so many dots that they had to connect, that it was a bold move making her such an integral part of this series, because you slip up once and it gets by people, It won't get by the fan base. It
No
will
way.
not. It will
Abs-
not get by the fan base. And if you have one that happens to get by the people behind the scenes and it makes a difference, bro, the fans will riot.
Absolutely.
They'll riot, unfortunately, because that's our fandom. But man, it took some cojones for them to really go with this Leia direction, and I'm happy with it. I am.
Same, bro. I feel like with that argument about help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi, you're my only hope, I saw someone make a really good take about it the other day. How dumb would Leia have to be in a message that she's sending into an astromech, just go find this guy, hopefully he makes it, that it's, hey, I remember that one time you and I fought Darth Vader and like we did all this illegal stuff together. Hey, can you come help me again? No, like you're gonna make it kind of vague. Like obviously things change, and that wasn't the original intention, but it works.
No, I get it.
Works.
Yeah,
I'm hyped.
I think what's cool
I
is
just ordered that Fennec and Boba
see,
Fett
I'm sitting here watching. I'm like, why is this dude looking at his phone? I was like,
yeah,
his girlfriend's in the house. Like, what is so important right now? But okay, I can't blame you.
I had to
can't
order
blame
it
you.
before it went out of stock.
No, I got you.
It'll be
I
here
got
tomorrow.
you.
Amazon for the win, baby.
That bastard.
Amazon.
It gets you back for paying $30 for Madam Web, and then I send it to you like, hey, bro, I can get it for $6.99. But back to what you were saying.
You win some, you lose some.
That's the game. That's the game. One thing I really liked is the only time that Leia calls him Obi-Wan was at the very end. She says either she says goodbye or thank you, and then she says Obi-Wan. And up until that point, she'd only called him Ben. Mm-hmm. And in her message to Kenobi and A New Hope, she says, help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi. You're my only hope. I think that was another dot that they had to connect, because if she's calling him Ben this whole time, why would she
just all of a sudden call him Obi-Wan?
Exactly. And I think it kind of tails off to, it kind of goes back to where she did not initially trust him. She was like, are you even a Jedi? You're the reason why I'm here. And then by the end, she knows, all right, you're a Jedi master. I need you to come back. Like you kept your promise when you promised me you would return. Thank you, Obi-Wan.
Did he not do this? Did they not do the exact same thing with Obi-Wan and Vader? He called him Darth. Exactly.
Yeah. You know what I have seen one plot hole that I do think they could have elaborated on a little more, is that Vader in Return of the Jedi, when Luke's Luke's like, I feel the good in you, all this crap.
It's too late for me.
Yes, he's like, it's too late for me. Obi-Wan once thought as you did. And I gotta say, that does make a good point, because it didn't seem like Obi-Wan tried hard enough to bring Anakin back.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
At
it's
the
like
time.
in Kenobi, because
okay.
he didn't try it. Like, yeah, in Revenge of the Sith, the last ditch effort during the fight and everything. By that point, he thinks he's gone. But I think they could have tried to make Kenobi try a little harder to bring Anakin to the light, you know?
Sure.
But he said he's sorry. Obi-Wan says no. Wait, he said he's sorry. Anakin says, no, you didn't kill him. I did, bro. I feel like Kenobi could have said something like, no, my brother is still in there. They could have extended the dialogue, even like maybe 2 or 3 more sentences, to make it show that he really tried to get through to him. But when you look at it, Vader says 2 dope ass lines, and Obi-Wan's like, then my friend is truly dead.
I mean, what do you say back from that? Well,
that's what I was saying. It's like, no, like, but if it follows what Vader says in Return of the Jedi, that's where you have Obi-Wan has that faith that Anakin's still in there. He says, no, You say that, but my brother is still in there. My brother Anakin, who I trained, who I did fail, but who I trained, he's still in there. You know, you extend it just a little bit. Maybe Vader comes up with like another dope one-liner. And then, you know, Obi-Wan makes the reference, like Luke said that my father's truly dead. Obi-Wan says, then my friend is truly dead. But I feel like he didn't try hard enough to bring him like Vader mentions in Return of the Jedi.
Right.
So I do see that one.
Well,
am I going to let it ruin it for me? No.
I wonder if that's also intentional, because I feel like one of the original purpose of Obi-Wan Kenobi, was to be Luke's teacher. What do all good teachers have in common? They've learned from mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. One of them being,
and they give out free candy.
And they give out free candy if you get questions right. No, but one of those.
Miss Jones, if you're watching this, you're my number one teacher all time, 4th and 6th grade.
Shout out Miss Jones.
Shout out Miss Jones.
Jeez. No, but one of the biggest mistakes
you,
that Obi-Wan made, I'm sure, like you just said, could have been not trying hard enough to bring him back. Then why would that not be something that Luke therefore learns from Obi-Wan? If that's his teacher. I don't know. I think it adds to Luke's effort.
Luke Skywalker, man.
Go.
Hello there.
Yeah, man.
Man. All right. So I think, you know, we've talked about the scene a lot. We've talked about, well, all right, one more thing on the fight scene, and then we'll get into the final minute or two of this series. I saw someone lined it up, the fight and their training montage, the flashback, right? The moves were the exact same. Same. I gotta send it to you. Yes, because it's the exact same where they're sitting like this. Some Kenobi makes a move. Vader turns around. It's literally the exact same choreography. And it's pretty powerful, brother. It's pretty dope.
Interesting. So
yeah. Dude, I'm almost positive I retweeted that on our podcast page.
I'll check it right after this.
Yeah. But bro, it was dude, part of me wants to read this tweet right now of something I retweeted. It goes along with Star Wars. Do you want to take a minute for me to read it? It's a decent read, but bro, it's funny. It'll get you.
Sure.
All right. All right, everybody buckle up because this is funny. This was found on Reddit. The question is, I'm going to do a dramatic reading. The question is, your favorite celebrity is forced to spend 24 hours with you. Other than anything sexual, what will you two do? And the tweet, it's from Prequel Memes. It says, no one on bloody earth saw this coming. So someone responded, buckle up, get your snacks ready.
Oh, shit.
Rudy's messing up his pops.
Hey, get out of there. Get out of there.
Come on. This climax leading up to this is insane.
All right. Let's hear it.
Let's hear it. All right. The Mike G says, Natalie Portman is the reason I work out. I have this fantasy where we start talking at the Vanity Fair Oscars party bar. We exchange a few pleasantries. She asks what I do. I say I loved her in New Girl. She laughs. I get my drink. Well, see ya, I say and walk away. I've got her attention now. How many guys voluntarily leave a conversation with Natalie Portman? She touches her neck as she watches me leave. Later, as the nights dragged on and the corduroy of gorgeous narcissists grows increasingly loose, she finds me on the bloody balcony, my bow tie undone, smoking a cigarette. Got a spare? She asks. What's in it for me? I say as I hand her one of my little white ladies. She smiles. Conversation with me, duh. I laugh. What's so funny? She protests. Nothing. It's just, don't you grow tired of the egos? You get used to it, she says, lighting her cigarette and handing me back the lighter. What would you do if I weren't an actress? Wait. What would you do if you weren't an actress? I ask. Teaching, I think. And if I was your student, what would I be learning? Discipline, she says quickly, looking
Ooh.
up into my eyes before changing the subject. Where are you from? Bermuda, I say. Oh, wow, that's lovely. It's okay, I admit. Not everything is to my liking. What could possibly be not to your liking in Bermuda? She inquires. I don't like sand. I tell her it's coarse and rough and irritating, and it gets everywhere. How great is that, bro?
Could you imagine actually doing that and building
Dude,
it up? What would you?
reading this. I'm reading this last night, bro. I get up middle of the night. I had to crap. Not gonna lie. I'm sitting on the toilet reading this, and bro, this dude needs to be on a writing team for something because I pictured that so vividly. He painted that picture. If there's anything I've learned from sales, it's that you gotta paint the picture, and that dude painted that picture because I could picture everything perfectly.
Yeah.
And I'm like, the whole way down, I'm like, where's this going? And then I see the sand. I'm like,
It gets
oh,
everywhere.
you bastard.
Kennedy and I are watching through the original trilogy right now, and then we're gonna watch Kenobi. And we just watched Attack of the Clones night before last, and that scene every time gets me, bro. It's coarse, it's rough, and it gets everywhere. Like,
do you see someone asked him a question on the red carpet or something? He's like, I don't mind sand. Hayden Christensen.
I'm sure he doesn't. Seems like a beachy guy.
What were we talking about right before that? What led me? Oh, I was looking at it. I saw a tweet of how the duels are exactly the same.
Mm-hmm.
And I was looking for that and I saw that. Yeah, bro, I watched that. I was laughing my ass off.
That's awesome.
Yeah, man. But yeah, the fight's the exact same. Exact same, man.
Yeah, boy. That's insane. I 100% have to go look at that video.
You do. I'll find it. I'll
go look at it after this. Yeah.
Yeah, man. All right, so we're done with the fights. I think we're for everybody that's hung on this long. Thank you.
Thanks.
We're wrapping up the episode. We got to talk about the final scene on Tatooine. So we see Obi-Wan go to Owen. Obi-Wan's about to leave. Owen says, "You want to meet him?" And I didn't expect it. I think up until this point, how the hell have we not heard hello there?
Right.
We haven't heard it. And then when he says it to Luke Skywalker the first time he meets him, other than having him as a baby, obviously, because I know if we post this and I say that, people comment, no, he met him as a baby. He handed him to Luke and he handed him to Owen and Baru personally. It's like, yeah, no shit.
Yes, obviously.
Yes. So gotta give the the whatever word I'm looking for. Got to put that in there. First time he has actually meeting Luke as a brain formed human. Hello there. That was perfect. I can't think of a time in the series when it would have worked
Drop
better.
it in there. We've said it like 7 times so far.
Chef's kiss.
Or you said French kiss.
Style.
French.
Bro, perfect timing. And then I remember, I don't know if I have a hard time believing my eyesight is better than yours, but I remember watching the final scene. I saw just a tiny glimmer of blue, just the tiniest glimmer of blue. And in the reaction, I'm like, there he is. And you're kind of still watching it. Maybe my version. I know we were watching Disney, like the Disney Plus watch party.
Off a second.
Maybe it was just off, but I'm like, there he is, and you're still like, yeah, Kenobi riding off in the sunset, and you're like, your face just, what? There he is, and we start collectively freaking out, and we're like, yo, and would I have liked to see Qui-Gon earlier? Yes, but his dialogue made me okay with only seeing him right there because he said, you weren't ready to see.
You know what's interesting?
What?
I think that sums up the entire series and all the haters. I've been here this whole time. You were just not ready to see. That fantastic ending was always there. It was always planned, but you did not have the patience for it to come.
that's why they're all upset. They're like, "Oh, boo,
Same thing.
Garmin Arnar.
Garmin R.
Garmin Arnar.
A piece
A
of
piece of
toast.
toast. That's perfect.
Yeah.
A piece of toast.
And your
if nobody
host,
kn-
what was his name?
Bobby
Bobby.
Moynihan. If nobody knows what we're talking about, they're like, what the hell are these dudes
A piece of
saying?
toast.
The fact that we said it at the exact same time, too. That was incredible. That was incredible.
What an era.
Oh, what an era.
Yeah,
All right,
man.
everybody. Hey, man, what? What were you going to say?
I said, yeah, man.
Oh, I thought you said, hey, man. And then I thought you were going somewhere. But everybody, this has been an incredible ride, both in episode 77 of the Carbonite Mustache podcast, but also in Obi-Wan Kenobi from start to finish. And for those of you that listen to us and don't watch, I say that because Alec and I both have some mustachios going right now. But yeah, we really appreciate you guys tuning in. I think this was on 100% on the longer side of our episodes. But I think this was an awesome episode.
It was sick, bruh.
Was that a reference or were you just talking?
No, just
No, that it was a big head reference. But no, I had a lot of fun this episode. Everybody that tuned into our reactions, some of the past podcast episodes where we broke it down, we can't thank you enough for tuning in. One last favor we have to ask. One last favor when it comes to Kenobi. This is coming out on June 30th, Thursday. On Friday, July 1st, we have an awesome video coming out. It's going to be the Funko Pops that we need from Obi-Wan Kenobi. We have 20 plus concepts that some incredible creators made. We partner with them all the time, and they've blessed us with some incredible Obi-Wan Kenobi Funko Pops that if Funko doesn't make them, we riot. So it's coming out tomorrow. I think the video is like 10 minutes long and you will not be disappointed. So if you like Star Wars, if you like Obi-Wan Kenobi, and
go watch it.
If you like Funko Pops, you got to see it.
Go watch it.
Watch it.
We like Funko Pops.
We do, as you can tell.
We
but again, we really appreciate the support. Up to this point, we couldn't be more blessed to be doing this week by week, day by day. And we have you guys to thank for that. So thank you very much. And like always, until the next time you're on Carbonite Convos, may the Force be with you.
Remember, the Force will be with you. Always.